You've probably heard that on a whole food plant-based diet, you can eat as much as you want. Well, guess what? These 5 veggies are part of how you can actually do that.
Today we talk about our top 5 favorite non-starchy veggies.
Now, non-starchy veggies, as opposed to starchy veggies like potatoes and beans and things like that, these are the ones that have very low calories, but they actually contain a lot of nutrients. And if you eat enough of them, you get quite a bit of the macronutrients too. So let's start with, you want to go first?
Well, first off, we're going to talk about how we're comparing them. In our top 5 favorite protein sources, we compared them by
100 grams. We did it by weight.
By weight.
100 grams of the product.
In veggies, that just didn't seem to be appropriate. No. So what we did is we compare them by caloric count. Yep. So this is 100 calories each in comparison.
Want me to go first? I'll go first.
Sure.
Number 5 is zucchini, because zucchini is, first, tasty. I actually really like it. It's very versatile. You can use it in so many different dishes. It's pretty inexpensive. And listen to these macros. 100 calories worth of zucchini. First is 590 grams. That's a little more than a zucchini this size. 590 grams. It weighs over a pound.
That's a big zucchini.
But it also contains 7.1 grams of protein. Believe it or not, 7.1 grams of protein. It also has 12.1 net carbs, 1.9 grams of fat. That's right, there's fat and protein in everything, and 5.9 grams of fiber. So that's like a powerhouse, and that's number 5. By the way, I want to say something. When we did the protein list, there was so many suggestions that people had that some people were kind of upset that their favorite wasn't on our list. This is not the best. This is our favorite. These are the things that 9 times out of 10, if I reach for a vegetable to cook with, it's going to be one of these. So that's all this is. This is our preferences, and there's probably good reason. They're easy to get, they're tasty, and they're versatile and easy to cook with. So a lot of our recipes are going to have these things. Doesn't mean you can't use others, and doesn't mean others aren't good. Just saying these are our favorites.
Another note I forgot to mention is that all our comparisons are based on a raw version of each of these vegetables.
Right. When they're cooked, they're going to be different because they're going to have less water weight. So all of these are as if it's uncooked raw, because that's how I measure things for recipes.
Number 4 is spinach. If it's good enough for Popeye, it's good enough for me. So 100 calories worth of spinach is 436 grams. Brian, what does that look like?
It looks like these 2 bags of spinach if you took one handful out of one of them. That's a lot of spinach for 100 calories. That's it. 100 calories. It's a lot of spinach. But you know, when you cook this down, it's like 4 mouthfuls, right?
Yeah. So in that 100 grams of calories, you get 12.5 grams of protein.
That's insane.
You get 6.2 net carbs, only 1.7 grams of fat, and 9.6 grams of fiber.
That's amazing. But like I said, when you cook all that down, it's going to be a very small amount. We tend to go through like half a bag per meal. Like it's super easy to eat a lot of spinach. And I tend to just throw it into all sorts of things. Whatever.
We eat it raw, we eat it cooked. Throw
it in salads, whatever. It's all good. Number 3 is broccoli. Now, broccoli is a powerhouse vegetable to begin with. It's linked to all kinds of good health outcomes. I'm not even going to get into that. But 100 calories of broccoli is going to be 295 grams worth of broccoli. And that looks like this. Now that includes the stalk. So that means if I peel this stalk a little bit, it'll be slightly less. I think this actually was like 306 grams or something. So it's like just a tiny bit over. So if I peel it, it'd be just right. I can eat that, no problem. That's no big deal. I can eat 2 of those in a meal. No problem at all. But that much broccoli also has 8.3 grams of protein. Everybody wants to say protein has to be beans and it has to be tofu or soy. No, all your veggies have protein in them. You just have to eat more of them. Now think about it. If you ate 2 of those stalks of broccoli, which really isn't that much, it's only 200 calories, and you would have 16 grams of protein already. Combine that with a whole grain and you've got a great protein. Anyway, 11.9 net carbs, 1.1 grams of fat. So for me, being diabetic, where I try to keep my fat as low as possible, I love that. And then 7.7 grams of fiber. So getting your fiber. By the way, people have asked, somebody asked me how much fiber I eat in a day. Up until about a week ago, when we started this newer plan of diet, I was eating between 30 and 50 grams of fiber a day. But with the new plan, it's more like 70 to 100. So we are eating a lot more fiber than we were before.
Next up is a controversial one because is it a veggie? Well, culinarily speaking, it's classified as a vegetable, but specifically, it's a fungi, and that's mushrooms. Now, we didn't say which was our favorite mushroom because we really honestly love them all.
Yeah.
And we just grouped them all together.
We usually get the white button mushrooms or the little
Portobellos,
baby Bella mushrooms, which are actually the same.
Shiitake, so many.
Yep.
Anyway, so 100 calories of mushrooms is 400 grams. And what does that look like, Brian?
Looks like this huge container of mushrooms if I took that much off.
That's a lot of mushrooms.
I didn't want to open them because then, the spoilage starts. So about that much mushrooms for 100 calories. It's a lot of mushrooms. However, they cook down too. So it ends up being about like that much when they're cooked.
So in those 100 calories worth of mushrooms, you get 11.6 grams of protein.
Interesting fact. I heard someone say that mushrooms are a great source of protein one time. And I thought, but they're really not. I'm going to say they're not a great source, but they are a source. Everything is a source because you'd have to eat a lot of mushrooms to get 11.6 grams of protein. So just keep that in mind. Nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong with that at all. But just know that you're not going to get your 50 to 75 grams of protein in a day by eating mushrooms, most likely. You'd have to eat pounds, like 8 pounds of mushrooms.
I'm okay with that.
That's a lot of mushrooms. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that much, but anyway.
There's also 6.1 grams of net carbs, 1.5 grams of fat, and 6.9 grams of fiber.
The one thing you're probably noticing in all these is the fiber counts are pretty high. Keep in mind, if you ate everything that we just showed you, first off, I don't know that I could eat everything that I just showed
explode.
you. You would only have taken in 400 calories, but you would have taken in something like 24 grams of fiber and like 30 grams of protein. That's insane.
And that leads us to our number one.
Now, this is our number one. I want to, before I say the number one, I do have to say that there's two other things that should be on this list, but they're not because to us, they're ubiquitous, which means we use them almost all the time, and they're technically not non-starchy veg, and that is onions and garlic. I don't have any of the numbers for those because we just use them, okay? They're just great. If you can't eat them, obviously you can just leave them out. But to us, they're like always on this list. That's why I don't count them as a thing because they're like a requirement. It's in the food. Anyway, number one is Brussels sprouts.
That's right. I hope you were sitting down.
We use them a lot. Like we probably have Brussels sprouts almost every single day. And before you start thinking, ew, those little green slimy globs.
You're not eating them right.
How they're coming out for you, you're not cooking them correctly because they shouldn't. By the way, this is one item, never buy frozen. I went to visit my mom last year, and for ease, I bought frozen Brussels sprouts and then tried to cook them. That's where the green snot ball idea comes from. Pretty sure, because they were just not good. Fresh, way to go. You just chop the end, cut them in half, face down in a pan for a little bit. After you cook them like that, throw in a little bit of veggie broth, put on a lid for 15 minutes. You have wonderful Brussels sprouts. We need to do a video on Brussels sprouts.
We do.
They deserve their own video. Anyway, for 100 calories, you need to eat 233 grams of Brussels sprouts.
What does that look like?
Let me show you. That is this many Brussels sprouts. That's like 30 Brussels sprouts, okay? I could eat that.
You could totally eat that.
Yeah, I think I have, actually. That with a little rice on the side, just a little sprinkle of soy sauce, lemon juice, good to go. With that 100 calories of Brussels sprouts, you get 7.9 grams of protein, 11.8 net carbs, 0.7 grams of fat. Think about that. Not even a gram of fat in that entire bag. And 8.9 grams of fiber. Tell me that's not an amazing vegetable. Now, here's the beautiful part about that. Because Brussels sprouts are the type of thing that they are, you can have just a little or a lot. They're like, I love the really big ones, but even the little ones, there's nothing wrong with that. I have steamed them. I have roasted them. I have done the pan-fried thing like I just described.
We even eat them raw sometimes.
Yeah, I chopped them up the other day and put them on tacos because it's a cabbage.
They're a little baby
That's all it is. It's just a baby cabbage. So don't be afraid of your Brussels sprouts. And, if you want to see a video on how I cook Brussels sprouts, leave a comment below. I'll do that. But there's more. We're not done.
One more honorable mention, and I just felt the need to put it on there because it's another incredibly versatile vegetable, and that's cauliflower.
We just don't eat it as much as we should. That's why it didn't make the top 5.
We don't eat it in the form of cauliflower. We eat it as a meat replacement. We eat it as a sauce. We eat it as a cheese replacement. We eat
rice replacement sometimes.
Yeah. So it kind of doesn't come into play in our heads as a vegetable anymore because we replace it with like everything. It's just it's no longer cauliflower. It's the multi-tool of the kitchen arsenal. Anyway, 100 calories worth of cauliflower is 400 grams. That is not even a full head, so we didn't bother measuring it out.
But wait, let me show you. This whole head with the green and everything is about 800 grams. So this whole head of cauliflower is about 200 calories.
So in 100 calories worth of cauliflower, you get 7.7 grams of protein, 11.6 net carbs, 1.1 gram of fat, and 8 grams of fiber.
All of those veggies are incredibly healthy and should be a definite part of your diet. I think we have at least 3 of these every single day.
Yep.
Like at least 3 every single day. Multiple servings of them too. If there is a favorite vegetable that we left off the list that you think should be on here, please don't get mad at us. Just suggest it in the description below. Let us know what you're thinking, because maybe I'd be like, oh, you know what? We didn't think of that. We should have put that one on here too. Most of the non-starchy vegetables are all great. I mean, it's hard to go wrong. It's just these are the ones that we used most commonly.
Mustard greens, kale, so much more.
But that's it for this video. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on
The Bistro.